Victor. The High Council needs access to the power grid if we hope to restore the city. Your inability to provide a legitimate excuse for denying them will only last so long.
Victoria is right. I know you're angry, but you can't let personal matters interfere with what may be best for everyone.
Personal matters? This is a Ministry of State matter, and I will handle it as I see fit. He is a traitor. He turned his back not only on his family, but on our people's entire belief system. The fact that he still breathes is a stain upon the House Vethal name.
You would doom us all with your pride.
I will do as I please as head of this house. If you are not a member of House Vethal, you do not belong here.
I hate to...
Another High Council lackey come begging? I told Lovick no more.
Forgive my brother. He has been forgetting his manners of late. Victor, this is Anasco's chosen. You recall Lovick sent word.
I recall he spoke of a newly anointed promised. And we do not need help, especially from an outsider.
You can't continue to refuse the council. You must act. Your inaction is killing you.
Precisely, which is why he leaves me no choice but to say this. My nephew Varric has left, and until he returns, Victor refuses to assist the council.
These are hardly matters for the ears of an outsider. And who are you to tell me what is vital and what is not? You are an outsider. You have no understanding of our house. The audacity! I should have you arrested.
Is this not the opportunity you've been looking for, brother? A third party capable of finding Varric?
Yes, you said so yourself. Someone with no loyalties to speak of. And if she's become promised, truly her arrival is more than coincidence.
Serpent, give me strength. You both speak true. Perhaps I have reacted in haste. Tell me, Vindicator, are you well practiced in discretion? So the council would send an untrustworthy fool to secure my cooperation. The sheer audacity. Without discretion, there is nothing left to say.
Do not be foolish, Victor. The Vindicator's presence here is a gift. Do not confuse providence for coincidence.
Very well. As Vittoria mentioned, my son, Varric, has left. Essentially, he has abandoned his post. And not only did he turn his back on his house, but the great serpent as well. He is a traitor and must be dealt with as such.
Victor, surely you don't mean it.
He does, Luther. He is allowing his fervent pride and anger to cloud his judgment. What my brother is trying to say is that he wishes his own son dead. First, we lose Vashti to that malignance tearing through Dazra. And now you so willingly offer up Varric. As if our house has not suffered enough loss already.
I will not speak of her with an outsider, promised or not. Your focus is solely on Varric. My son denounced the very faith that defines Varun society. He dared to blame Anasco for the state of Dazra. Dared to call our faith in the Great Serpent blind. It is heresy and punishable by death. Because he let his weakness get the better of him. He sees himself as a prisoner in this life. He runs from a duty that others would spend their lives coveting. He is my son. He does not get to choose. He was born to inherit my title, and he knows the punishment for refusing to honor it. Of course it would. As someone from the settled systems, you have no concept of what the Great Serpent demands of us. I do not wish Vedic dead, but as head of the Ministry of State, he left me no choice. All must serve. Those who refuse will be met with death. Our duty as wardens is to keep the populace tasked and loyal. All must serve, both the Great Serpent and House Varun. No exceptions. Those who refuse must be cleansed to stop the spread of corruption. I will not have it known that I declared my own son a heretic and allowed him to escape our grasp. This knowledge weakens the Ministry of State's authority, something we cannot risk at this time. This is why my interest turned to a third party, someone outside of the noble houses, but we have yet to determine someone trustworthy enough. Until now. The shame Vedic brought upon this house is immeasurable. It stains the very foundation. I will not act until this house is in order and its members are properly aligned with the Great Serpent. Exceptions show weakness, and we cannot afford to show weakness at a time like this.
We have done the same for less. You act as if death is the only answer. What about forgiveness?
I will not risk the Ministry's authority on the actions of my own son, even if he is my chosen heir. If the High Council wants my cooperation, I need you to find Vedic and carry out his sentence.
And I would ask you to spare him. My brother is acting under impulse, not reason.
I have never been more clear. Speak against me one more time, and you will regret it. Vedic has a signet ring with House Vithal's family crest. Bring it to me as proof of death. Only then will I grant you access to the power grid. There is no other way. The Ministry of State must uphold order, and you will be expected to serve as we all do. I recommend you start by speaking to patrons of the Herald's Rest. Some of Vedic's associates there may know where he went, but keep in mind, anyone who has directly aided him in hiding is an accomplice and shares his fate. The Herald's Rest is our local bar, and unfortunately, my son's favorite establishment to frequent. And while I know a bar isn't the ideal place for discretion, I still expect you to keep these matters private. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Vedic. If they were, they will pay the price. And remember, absolute discretion. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Vedic for personal reasons. I will not risk word of his disappearance getting out before I can say the situation has been handled.
Something is amiss, but I dare not speculate.
I pray the serpent still favors us to have allowed us to.
We will serve Dazra to the last man. I am not sure what to make of you.
My brother lost his wife and home in the catastrophe.
No. What do you want?
How can
Can't you
anyone
see I'm
be sane
busy?
after that?
You and me both. The worst thing that can possibly happen, happens. And then he disappears. I mean, come on. We're supposed to be friends. Okay, maybe it's not the worst thing, but look around you. It's almost post-apocalyptic, so... Second worst possible thing that could happen. Worst thing being if none of us survived at all. That's what I thought. You'd think B would at least be commiserating with me. But I'm suddenly too drunk to deal with. Some friend she is. All she cares about is Varric. Huh? Oh, B's a friend. Or maybe was a friend. Yeah. Me, B, and Varric makes 3. Figured we were friends till the end. Oh, not you two. That's the last thing I need. I just want Varric to show up so things can get back to normal. Whatever that is. No, I can't. Tane! He mentioned talking to Tane one day about getting off-world, seeing the settled systems. We never thought he was serious, and even if he wasn't... Tane still might know something. Tane's a regular. I'm sure he'll be by any minute if you just want to take a seat.
Our sins must have been considerable for the Great Serpent to subject us to this.
This bar is the only thing keeping many people sane.
I can't believe he'd run off at a time like this.
If you ask me, we should be celebrating. No one can doubt the Great Serpent's existence now.
Hey, aren't you that outsider made promise that showed up here recently? Oh, wow. You really bought in, huh? I'm an outsider myself. It's hard to get into the whole giant snake thing. I guess when you're part of the supply chain, they make a few exceptions. There's not a lot of people in the import-export business when it comes to Dazra, and they aim to keep it that way. But believe me, it wasn't any short amount of time before they let me roam these streets. You could say I'm like a specialized delivery service, moving stuff back and forth between Dazra and the settled systems. Just so happens I got a lot of time on my hands since Dazra went to hell and I lost my ship. And let me tell you, I thought things were grim before. Whatever that incident was, this whole planet's gonna need therapy. And proud of it. I've been toting stuff back and forth for these people for years and still get the cold shoulder most places I go. But then these people lose half their city and you show up, and suddenly it's divine intervention. Well, glad Dazra didn't disappoint. Something tells me you aren't kidding. Anyway, enough about that. What can I do you for? That's so. Well, I guess that depends, Vindicator. Who wants to know? I consider Varric a bit of a friendly acquaintance. I know enough about the guy to care about his physical well-being, if you know what I mean. Oh, sure. You just show up out of the blue and suddenly want to know where to find House Vathal's #1 son? And I know he wasn't lost to whatever ate up half of Dazra. Plenty of people have seen him since. Although, let's just say after what went down here, my retirement's looking imminent, and I haven't exactly been saving up for a rainy day. So if you're feeling generous, maybe we can help each other out. Not even gonna buy me dinner first? Sounds like someone's repping for House Vathal. But hey, I guess staying alive isn't the worst deal. I'm pretty sure he's heading into the Highlands. Just not sure where. But I do have the means to track him. So you just say the word and we're off to the races. Highlands region is the northwest side of Dazra. Pretty good area if you don't want to be easily found. You make it sound creepy. But yeah, for emergencies. Yep, when it comes to my stuff, it's like a package deal. I'm not just gonna hand off valuable tech to some stranger. Oh no, I'm stuck on you until this is over. Let's just say I have an investment to look after. Once we're outside of Dazra, I'll fire up my tracker, and fingers crossed, it'll lead us right to him. Just head out the west gate, should be the fastest route.
Yes? Ah, yes, we are done.
Dazra until we pick something up. Gravity doesn't scare you much, does it? Plenty of places to be hiding outside of Dazra. Sure thing. Just say the word and we're back on the hunt. You got it.
Temporary encampment.
If you are free soon, could we talk?
It has been a relief to be honest with you about my past. I appreciate your willingness to listen. But talking about this, remembering all those years, has brought back some unsettling memories. Thank you. That means a great deal to me. I have told you that I spent many years coordinating with smugglers along the edges of the settled systems. There were men and women I worked alongside closely. And over time, I established relationships. They were not of the promised, but I considered them friends. There are only so many of us out in the settled systems, and we operate independently. The less we know about each other, the less of a risk any of us might be. There is little choice but to rely on outsiders to maintain supply chains. Yes, I have found that to be true. It was, and is, still a surprise. You must understand. I was raised to believe that those who do not follow the Great Serpent do not matter, for they are lost. Their fate is fixed and grim. And yet here were these men and women with hopes and dreams, delights and aversions. It felt like a small betrayal of my people, of House Varun, but I cared for my friends. And then I lost them. It's not something I have much experience with. It was so sudden. We had met on a remote planet to transfer cargo, and zealots appeared in force, seemingly out of nowhere. There was barely time to react. So many were cut down immediately. I believe my years of training saved me, got me moving when others faltered. I retreated to my ship immediately. But I left them all behind. Aaron Bascom and Jada Wong. They were my friends, and I abandoned them. And in the years since, I have never looked for them. No. I told myself it's because I never had the time, but in truth, I was scared of what I'd find. 10 years. I was immediately reassigned to another role, light years away. I have no doubt they were resourceful. Still, how badly were their lives damaged by that moment? In my time getting to know you, I have thought more and more of all this. how little sense it all made, how I never really knew what happened or what became of my friends. My connection to you has reminded me what it means to trust someone, to be there for them. And I can no longer live with not knowing. I need to finally pursue this. I would like you with me when I do. I do not know what we will find, but I know it will be easier with you at my side. Thank you. That is... I'm sorry, I am not used to someone being so considerate on my behalf. I am not sure where they might be now, but I believe we should begin the search in Aquila City. That is where I last saw Aaron Bascom.
Keep your eye out for anything that might point us in the right direction. Veric's been busy if he got this much done.
Do you see anything useful?
What the hell is that? Sorry, Captain. I lost it.
There's no escape.
Still in one piece. All my years and all the planets I've been on. Never gonna get used to those things. You got that right. Damn Mouseburone. Wiping out half their city and bringing in horrors like these. At least I don't see a body around here, so I hope that means Veric's alive. You find anything? Injured? Hope he doesn't bleed out by the time we find him. Well, what's next? Varric must have fled in a hurry since his tracker's still here. So guess the rest is up to us. Sounds like a plan. And hopefully that injury slows him down enough for us to catch up. Let's head back down and see what we can find. And by we, I mean you.
Look at this view. Despite everything, I cannot help but be moved by how beautiful my home can be.
I don't see him.
That's far enough, strangers. You want to tell me what you're doing on my property uninvited? Through here. You realize you're in the middle of nowhere. Of course, fellow promised. Please forgive my abruptness.
Yeah, you here obligated? You know it must be house business.
Indeed, brother. All must serve.
Irina, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Zen. Yes, I know quite well. Never mind my partner, they're just overly cautious. But we did aid an injured young man a few days ago.
That's gotta be Varric.
It's too coincidental. It must have been him. We sent him north. There's a long-abandoned growth farm we felt he could make use of. He claimed he lost everything in the incident that swallowed half of Dazra. He wanted to start a new life. We even gave him 2 of our own growths to get started. Great Serpent, forgive my foolishness, but I trusted him instantly. I saw so much of our own son gas in him that I didn't doubt nor question. I allowed him his privacy in what I thought was a time of great need and grief. It was only when you made it known that this was house business that I realized my mistake.
Thanks for the help.
All must serve.
Serpent, watch over you.
We thank you for sparing our lives.
Please wait. This unit is performing a software update. Please do not attempt further conversation. I am currently engaged in the completion of my assigned task. Please do not interfere.
Varric's been busy if he got this much done. Nothing going on out here. How about you? Find anything? Sounds like it's a waiting game then.
It seems I have uninvited guests. You want to explain yourselves?
Whoa, hey, it's me. Dang. Put the gun down already.
It's not you I'm concerned about. It's your friends.
Rightfully so.
I wish I could say I was pleased to meet you, but something tells me this isn't a social call. Please, if you're here on my father's orders, allow me to plead my case. I'm glad someone does for once. I am not sure how familiar you are with our culture, but all I've ever wanted was the right to choose. I was born House Vithal. I was raised to inherit the role of Elder, to run the Ministry of State, to worship the Great Serpent. But I want none of it.
With House Vithal? Easier said than done.
This is true. House Vethal and the Ministry of State are known to be the most devout and punitive of the houses. It would not be easy to leave without extreme consequences, as you now know.
It's never mattered how much I tried to reason with him. My father simply would not let me go. His pride and the fear of what it would mean for House Vithal is all he cares about. Shame, embarrassment, fuel for the other houses to ridicule my father. I don't want any of that for him, but he left me no choice. If he would have listened just once, maybe I could have left on good terms with my father's blessing. Control the narrative, as they like to say. That's the issue. As far as my father's concerned, he's the most supportive parent out there. Giving me all the tools and teachings I need to inherit House Vithal and assume the reins of the Ministry of State. I'm the ungrateful one. I'm the problem. Not him. All I want is to make my own life. Something Tane understood and was willing to help me with.
The credits help too, but yeah, guess you got the whole scoop now. I realized I was going to help a friend. And yeah, I knew the risks. That's why we had the tracker. I needed Varric to get far enough away from Dazra so I could safely pick him up and get him out of here. Yup, we had a few things to discuss. I lost my ship to the incident, so I didn't want Varric running off thinking I could just grab him and go. I was also out all the credits he was gonna pay me. That's where you came in. I figured, why not 2 for the price of 1? I didn't realize it was gonna turn into a whole thing.
So, now you know my true intentions for leaving, and given the circumstances, I may be here for some time. My hope now is to make the best of it here. I suppose I owe you that much. The truth is, the Scaled Citadel was the last straw. My people are so blinded by faith and politics, they don't see how it's destroying us. Anasko Varun eliminated half our population in the blink of an eye. My sister Vashti among them. I could no longer live in a society that won't put its people first. That would destroy itself in the name of a god that has done nothing for us. Usually I understand that some people need faith as guidance, but Varun's society takes it too far. I hope you can see why I want to walk away from all this. To start my own life. I ask that you give me that chance. Anything. Name it. My ring. Vashti gave it to me. It's all I have left of her since the cataclysm. The disaster took every physical reminder of her except for this ring. Just wiped her from existence. True. It's as if she's looking out for me. One last time. Take it. I'll find solace in the fact that the ring will remain with my family. And now I hope we are done here. Thank you for seeing reason. I owe you both my life and freedom.
Now that's over with. I'm gonna hang back here, talk to Varric a bit. Besides, I don't want to be around when you break the news to Victor. Do me a favor and find me at the Herald's Rest when you're done.
Something on your mind? Certainly. House Varun is in a distant corner of space, far away from the rest of the settled systems. While this serves our interests, it can also pose challenges. Many critical resources are scarce, and diplomatic relations with the United Colonies and Freestar Collective were tense at the best of times. It was the most practical way to acquire what we need, without raising too many questions. Still is. I do not know, not for sure. I did not see them fall that day, and I suppose I have hoped they survived. I admit I have not investigated before now, at least in part because of what I feared I might learn. He is a quiet man, reserved. I believe he had lived through a great many hardships, though he never spoke of them. I never felt it proper to ask. He valued his personal space and quiet moments. It was one thing we always shared in common. Years ago, I had heard he was alive, but did not attempt to contact him. I did not feel it was right. I hope this is not a mistake. Very well. Some other time, then.
Is it done? You're back. What news do you bring?
What have you done? Varric.
This blood is on your hands, Victor. I hope you remember this. And I clearly said exceptions should be made.
No, it was Varric's choice. He knew the consequences.
You were his father. You were supposed to protect him. You think you are doing what is right out of some blind dedication, but you are destroying this house. You already lost one child. You had to murder the other.
Victoria!
I will not hear any more of this. It is done. Leave us.
Oh, I am leaving to mourn my nephew whose memory you disgrace with your very presence.
Victoria!
Leave her be, Luther. The Great Serpent will guide her. She will understand in time and emerge stronger for it. Then I can appreciate a tool that does not question. Ultimately, I care nothing for what you think. Now, only one matter remains to discuss. Did you find anyone who aided my son in his treachery? Good. Unfortunately, I have heard ramblings among the people of Varric's disappearance. Wardens are dealing with the matter as we speak. But you restored order to this house and have my gratitude. Here, the access code that Aorus needs to connect to the power grid. Now go. I have much to arrange.
I don't blame you for what happened. I only wish you would have prevented it. If only you had allowed Varric to live. Vindicator.
The Great Serpent watch over you.
Be mindful of our elder. The incident weighs heavily on his mind.
The serpent strikes down those who doubt.
The barracks are so empty.
If this doesn't work, Serpent save us. Did Victor finally relinquish the access code? Excellent. We'll finally have the resources to fully charge the morning device. Now give me a moment to set up the grid. Inputting the access code. Routing power. It is done. Vindicator, will you do us the honor?